Hey guys, my name is Moon and welcome back for more Umineko When They Cry episode 2. So last time we had a lot of scenes, right, with Beatrice, her talking I guess normally or not, like a normal person, right, with Shannon there, and then Canon showed up later, and then Kinzo as well, right? So now we are in a school festival. So this can be Jessica or maybe Maria, right? So yeah, let's just start it and let's find out. The biggest fall event for the Ushurimiya family was the family conference in October. But to Jessica I guess, there was another major event that came before that, the school cultural festival. Jessica liked school. To her, it was a place where she could let out the stress as she'd built up from the rigid lifestyle she was forced to lead at home. For today's cultural festival, she'd formed a group with her friends and had announced that they'd perform some light music on a temporary stage. She had prepared and practiced for this over and over until today, always anxiously awaiting this day's arrival. But there was one thing that worried her. She looked at the clock. There was still a little time, but she felt uneasy. Would that person really come? Who though who? After taking a single deep breath, her heart jumped when all of her friends suddenly started speaking in shrill voices.
嘘！ひなの彼氏超イケてんじゃん！マジすごくない？マジすごくない？リンの彼氏すっごい頭良さそう。あれでド S メガネなの？マジ本当？ダメダメ。うちの旦那ギャル男だし。
So every one of her friends has boyfriends and she doesn't. It may not be like this for all girls, but at least at Jessica's school, the cultural festival was basically a boyfriend exhibition. Jessica didn't have a boyfriend. She had many friends of the opposite sex, but no special only one. But Jessica was a little famous around school and everyone thought it'd be natural for her to have a fitting partner. Furthermore, her pride had led her to pretend that this was true. She'd somehow managed to keep them fooled until this year. But for various reasons, she hadn't been able to escape this year's cultural festival.
Jessie!
Jessie? Okay.
彼氏来た？
Oh, school uniform this time.
まだ来てねえみてえだぜ。仕事忙しいのかな？ジェシーの彼氏どんな人なの？せめてヒントだけでも出してよ。何系？何系？すごいよね。社会人なんでしょ？スーツとかで来る？
Will he come in a suit? But yeah, who is she waiting for actually though?
もちろんメガネかけてるよね。
Of course he'll be wearing glasses, right? What, did she invite George?
ねえ、でも本当はいないんだよね。
Or maybe her family instead, right?
今素直に白状したら私の仲間に入れてあげるって。
Oh, okay, no. Or maybe she invited Canon, right? Yeah, because she liked Canon. Yeah, maybe Canon she invited.
一緒にこの文化祭を涙で濡らそうよ。いや、いる。本当にいるって。
Okay, so yeah, if there's actually someone, it's gotta be Canon for sure. There's no one else. Jessica's bitter smile was covered with cold sweat. It was starting to seem doubtful whether she really had received or deceived their sharp-witted friends. Okay, Shannon.
はい。なら、彼氏さんの偽物を立てて連れて行くというのはどうでしょうか。偽物？誰を？ そんなのに心当たりねえぜ。
Shannon's ridiculous plan surprised Jessica into hysterics. Even so, it was probably more realistic than the crazy methods running through her head about getting a boyfriend in the big rush before the cultural festival.
例えばですが、カノンくんなんてどうでしょう。カノンくん？ダメっていうか、きっとカノンくん文化祭の日は仕事に決まってるぜ。迷惑かけちゃ悪いしさ。もちろん予定表も確認済みです。カノンくんはその日お休みになっています。こんな時ばっかり容量がいいのな。じゃなくて、休みならもっと悪いぜ。せっかくの休みを私の見栄のために引っ張り出せないよ。カノンくんは引っ張り出されないといっつも閉じこもってばかりいますので、無理に引っ張り回すくらいでちょうどいいかと思いますよ。そうなの？いや、でもカノンくんに悪いなら晩酌つきますね。おとなしく彼氏はいませんと白状なされてはいかがでしょうか。それは肩身の狭い思いをなされるでしょうが、卒業までの短くも長い間を耐え忍ばれるだけでございますし、愛し合う恋人同士にとって独り者のひがみ顔が何にも勝る甘い蜜なのです。シャノン、私のために本気で悩んでないでしょ。おちょくってるでしょ。
Jessica wrestled about with Shannon, her eyes teary. But Shannon was unfazed, laughing with her usual smile.
はい。私とジョージ様のことを茶化してばかりのお嬢様への仕返しです。
Listening to Shannon's comeback, the likes of which didn't happen even once a year, Jessica hugged her cushion and rolled around on her bed, pretending to fall or faint in agony. She couldn't stand Shannon's smile, which looked so triumphant, but right now she was the only person Jessica could talk to. She could choke her to death with her cushion later.
いいじゃないですか、お嬢様。
But yeah, Shannon is the expert now with relationships, right? Earlier, she was very, very shy, but now she's the expert.
文化祭ではありますが、カノン君と一緒に遊びに行くチャンスですよ。いや、それはそうだけど、いや。
Jessica buried her head in her favorite pillow to hide the fact that her face had grown bright red, and she grumpily chewed the fingernail on her thumb. It really was a reaction to be appreciated. Shannon and Jessica were about the same age, of the same sex and friends, and they were both right in the middle of puberty. They could never talk enough about love. That's why they could talk freely about these topics to each other. So Jessica had heard a lot about Shannon, or how Shannon and George's love was progressing. And Shannon had heard a lot about what type Jessica liked, what kind of man she might be interested in. Judging by Jessica's reaction, it would probably be rude for us to go into precisely what these things were. However, the story won't get anywhere if we just have Jessica rolling around forever, so let's dive in. Jessica had been thinking about Kanon ever since he'd shown up. It was extremely rare for a young man to visit Rokkenjima, so maybe it was natural for Jessica, a girl in puberty, to develop an interest in Kanon. But if anyone said that, it would destroy the romantic ideals of a maiden's pure heart and love at first sight. Shannon had been with Kanon for a long time at the orphanage, so she'd known him since before they started working. So Jessica had asked persistently about what his hobbies were, what his favorite food was, what type of girl he liked. Even to Shannon, it was clear that Jessica was infatuated with Canon.
もうカノン君をデートに連れ出せるいい機会じゃありませんか。でもカノン君にだって好きな人とかいるかもしれないし、私なんかの見えっ張りに付き合わせたら気を悪くするぜ。お嬢様のような素直じゃない方を何でしたっけ、ジョージ様に習いました。そうそう、ツンドラとか言うそうですよ。
Chundora. Why is it in green font? Chundora. Yeah, like in the beginning of, I think, episode 1, right? We had like green fonts like this, but after that, yeah, it was just gone. I didn't realize it anymore. Yeah, so what does it mean if we have green fonts like this?
あと十数年かすると流行るんだそうですよ。
Chundora.
へえ、さすがジョージ兄さんだな。未来のトレンドがわかるのかよ。すげえぜ。じゃなくてってことは、私ってタイプは時代がずれてるってことじゃねえかよ。
It took several days of wasted efforts, but in the end, Jessica agreed to the plan of having Kanon pretend to be her boyfriend.
Hi, お嬢様。お呼びでしょうか。
Jessica regretted calling out at such a bad time. Kanon always looked sullen, but he had some bad days and some better days. Unfortunately, this reaction was the former.
いや、そのさ、
All that confidence and effort she'd built up practicing in front of a mirror all night was wiped out in about 5 seconds. Jessica turned bright red and hung her head. When he saw that, Canon sighed. Jessica thought that he was exasperated with her and her face went pale.
シャノンから聞いています。お嬢様の学校の文化祭へお供するようにというお話ですか。
シャノンナイスじゃなくて、そうなんだけど、当日の予定はどうかな。
シャノンから当日は特にお嬢様にお仕えするよう厳命されております。
Alright, so he was ordered by Shannon now.
僕は高校には行ったことがないのでわかりませんが。
I've never been to a high school.
何でも男性の付き人がいないと大変肩身が狭い場だとか。
But well, Canon hasn't been to school? But yeah, Shannon did go to school, right? Or I'm just understanding it wrong. Or did both of them did not go to school? I mean, yeah, both of them got an education, right? Even Ava was saying that to Shannon's face, right? So did they go to school or not? Or maybe, yeah, maybe when they were much younger, they went to school. But when they were, yeah, a little bit older, maybe they just went to study, I guess, or they were just studying here in the house, right?
後宮本家令嬢が庶民に劣ることがあってはならないと特に厳命されておりますので。
シャノン後でぶっ殺す。
Jessica kept yelling with a strange voice and a broken smile, like a tea kettle filled with boiling water. As Kanon watched this, he sighed again. Kanon wasn't an idiot either. He fully understood what Jessica intended by inviting him. But to be honest, playing along with Jessica's love game seemed like it'd be nothing more than an annoyance to him. However, Shannon had asked him over and over. He was deeply indebted to her, so he couldn't refuse. and that brooch was in his pocket. Could the strange turn of events have been brought about by the magic power residing in this brooch? Ridiculous. But he remembered what Shannon had said to him that day. What did Shannon see that I cannot? I don't understand Shannon's feelings. We are but furniture. As if we could ever become anything more. It was really an odd exchange between Jessica, who was still rambling on in a strange voice, and Kanon, who sighed deeply.
Jessie, 人が来てるよ。聞こえてないの？ごめん。誰？
As my friends all gathered together, they were looking this way with hard to describe expressions, whispering to each other in small voices that weren't small anymore. My attempt to play dumb felt pretty transparent even to me. Did I really just say sorry? Who is it? Like, I don't know who just showed up. Oh, he's actually here now. Okay. It's useless. It's useless. My mind is going blank.
嘘！あれジェシーの彼氏？
Wow. He's wearing all black like this. Very nice.
かわいい！本当に彼氏いたんだ！マジ嘘本当？
I mean, Kanon has the look though, right? Like, yeah, mysterious. He is good looking as well, right?
ジェシカの裏切り者！
And he's wearing all black. He's like Sasuke. Yeah, like Sasuke.
すっごい素敵じゃん！年下？年下なんて聞いてないよ！どこどこ？ジェシーの彼氏ってどこどこどこ？ショタって本当？いや遅かったじゃねえかよ
昇降口がわからなかったもので遅くなって申し訳ございません。
いやその格好も似合ってるぜ
シャノンが普段着では良くないと言って先日一緒に買い物を。似合いませんでしたでしょうか？
そんなことないよシャノン後で2階級特進
なんだかここは女の人ばかりで居心地が悪いです。
だよなさここじゃなくてステージの方に行こうぜ。もうすぐ私たちの出番だからさ。さ
Jessica seemed just as uncomfortable. It looked like being bathed in everyone's interested gazes was hard on her. When he saw Jessica's appearance, Kanon thought he might have made things difficult for her by coming.
なんだか迷惑をおかけしているような気がします。お邪魔だったでしょうか？
そんなことないって。
僕がお邪魔でしたらいつでも言ってくだされば。
僕？
邪魔なんかじゃないよカノ君彼氏勘付けだ
She calls her boyfriend Kun. Wait, is Kanon actually means boyfriend? Is that it?
僕はどうしていればいいでしょうか？
Boku. And they say milady, they're gonna scream again.
嘘お嬢で呼ばせてるの？羊系来たこれやめ今日はお嬢様は
そうですか。
Wait, wasn't he briefed? Like, you don't call her my lady, call her Jessica today.
わかりました。 ジェシカ様。
Not even the sama, yeah, removed Jessica-san.
しつけするの様付けだ
She's trained him to call her sama.
ごめん、カノン君。3秒でいいから目つぶっててくれるかな。いやー、キスするよ、キスするよ。
ではつまります。
Bang, tunk, bam, bam, slam and crash. By the time Kanon opened his eyes, a horribly tragedy had occurred in the room. Everyone had been driven into the walls, their arms and legs outstretched. What? Jessica had slipped her brass knuckles back into her pocket before Kanon's eyes opened.
とにかくステージの方に行こう。私たちの出番はもうすぐだからしばらく席で待っててよ。私たちは準備あるからさ。この先突き当たりまで行けば仮設舞台があるからわかるぜ。そこで待ってて。
She pushed Kanon's back as he seemed to be having trouble moving himself and chased him out. Even though Kanon was confused by Jessica's attitude, her panicky state, which he'd never seen before, he followed her instructions and headed in the direction she had indicated. After seeing him off with an awkward smile, Jessica slammed the door shut and yelled loudly.
ささ、見たね。見たでしょ、満足した。ざまあねえぜ。賭けに負けた。絶対ジェシに彼氏なんかいないと思ってたのに。彼氏じゃないんでしょ、使用人へのパワハラでしょ。ジェシの彼氏素敵だおー。いやかわしいぜ。ほらほら、準備準備。
When Jessica took the brass knuckles out of her pocket again, everyone energetically returned to their tasks. Yeah, this episode, it became a, what do you call this? A slice of life school anime now. Kanon went to the corridor Jessica had shown him and ran into a temporary stage set up where the vending machines should have been. It was probably being rented by the hour by some group or club. The ones singing were the student groups, but the crowd was still incredibly excited. Disliking the clatter, he leaned against the wall in the darkness by himself. So this is what they call a high school. It sure is noisy. That's what Kanon thought. And then he remembered Jessica just now acting in a way that he'd never seen before. Honestly, she was in such high spirits that alcohol might have been involved. To him, remaining composed and intellectual at all times was the highest virtue. In that sense, it was very hard for Kanon to get used to the atmosphere of a school, a cultural festival. He had a responsibility to report everything he saw and heard to the master. So he also had to report about how Jessica had acted without restraint earlier. At the very least, it was not fitting for the daughter of the Oshiromiya head family. The master, Krausama, and especially Natsui-sama will probably be angry. But yeah, will Kanon-kun say this though? Hey, you better not say this. If I am to report it that way, that protects my lady, should I blame it on inappropriate school friends? I mean, these are just girls. I mean, high school girls acting as high school girls, right? Like, this is just normal. But I guess, yeah, for Kanon, yeah, it's just way too different because when they're on the island, yeah, I mean, it's just different. Yeah, very, very different compared here.
なんだよあれ。バカみたいだ。
Kanon thought back on how Jessica had acted earlier and sighed again. He could understand Natsuhi's headache a little now. Come to think of it, Natsuhi-sama, as the president of PTA, was to go to an informal gathering after attending the ceremony in the gymnasium. Oh, so Natsuhi's the president of the PTA? Okay. She said she wouldn't be able to see my lady's performance, didn't she? That's probably for the best.
人混みは気持ち悪いな。なんだってんだ一体。
Several female students keep glancing at me. It seems they're all whispering the same things my lady's school friend said, and it's really unpleasant. Come to think of it, didn't Shannon warn me? If you walk alone at something like a school festival, you'd better watch out because a lot of strange people will come and talk at you.
お一人ですか?
Just as expected, a group of girls I'd never met started talking to me. Their stare started to make my back tingle. Didn't she tell me some magic words that could chase them off in times like this?
すみません。連れがいますので。
そうですか。ごめんなさい。
Ah, it worked. Instant reaction. Well, that got rid of them, but it hasn't really changed the number of people staring at me.
違うよ。あの子だよ、ジェシーの彼氏。
It's that kid, Jessie's boyfriend.
嘘？あの子が？信じらんないよね。絶対にエアだと思ってたよ。可愛いじゃん。年下？いいなあ。
There's no way I'll ever come to a place like this again. Kanon sighed for about the zillionth time that day. When he did, the lighting changed and the standing audience started cheering. He looked around and realized that there was suddenly a large group of people there. And unlike earlier, they were mostly guys. With this huge crowd, he couldn't even see the stage. Fortunately, there was a fallen beer case nearby, so he tried using that as a footstool. When he did, he realized that there was now a new group on stage. Oh, Jessica! She got a new outfit. There is my lady. She's changed into stage clothes and she's even holding a guitar. I didn't even know she could play. Then again, maybe she can play. I've seen her practicing air guitar before. Natsuhi-sama wouldn't approve of any hobbies outside of study. Maybe she was always practicing in secret. Come to think of it, she's been returning really late from school recently, hasn't she? Maybe she's been practicing at school far away from Natsuhi-sama's prying eyes. It really is for the best that Natsuhi-sama didn't come. If my lady were to get scolded by Natsuhi-sama after putting so many hours of practice in, she'd probably be dejected. I could hear Jessica-sama's forceful voice through the speakers. Jessie-sama? Maybe that's her nickname at school. The students in the audience kept calling out that name. I'm a little offended by that crude name. It's inappropriate for my lady. Jessica-sama was in high spirits as they kept shouting Jessie-sama. Everyone here was probably a fan. Her mic performance picked up on that and electrified them even more. It was almost like a music program on TV. At first, he thought this was all silly, but that feeling had changed into appreciation. It was incredible in its own way. Kanon had never listened to music of his own free will, but it often heard the kind of music the Oshiramiya family liked. Since it was almost all classical, Kanon had naturally taken a liking to that kind of music as well. So to Kanon, the song Jessica sang was, how should you say it? Dejectable? Extremely colorful? In any case, if Natsuhi-sama heard it, she'd probably faint. What, is it like rock music? But to everyone, it looked like they were having a really good time. Some diehard fans who had even brought pen lights sang along and danced crazily with the same movements, almost as though it had been planned ahead. On stage, Jessica-sama also sang enthusiastically, dripping with sweat. He couldn't find a single element that was appropriate for a daughter of the Shiromiya family, but it looked like so much fun. It's over already?
じゃあ次は新曲いっちゃうよ。普通の魔法使いって言うな。
Okay. Oyashiro-sama. What is Oyashiro-sama is stalking me? Curses, disappearance, sacrifices, torture. Onikakushi doesn't make a good snack. Don't say Marissa. Who's Marissa, by the way? But yeah, Oyashiro-sama mentioned Onikakushi when first chapter of Higurashi. Keiichi, yeah, he was thinking that Oyashiro-sama was stalking him, right? It's a nice reference there. I must not go along with it, but at any rate, my lady's full of life and looks like she's having a great time. But yeah, I wish that we had a little scene there with actually Jessie, or I'm saying Jessie now, Jessica performing, right? But yeah, we had dialogue there where she was singing, so I wish that it had its own scene there. I mean, as I watched my lady enjoying herself, I thought, could this be Oshiromiya Jessica's true nature? Don't I know better than anyone that during her life on Rokkenjima, she's had no choice but to kill her sense of self. But yeah, I mean, Klaus and Natsui, of course, are gonna be very strict with her because yeah, she is the heir, right? Successor, basically, right? So for them, they really need her to be extremely strict with her, right? So the time she spends not as my lady's successor to the Oshiromiya family, but as a single girl called Jessica, living life to the fullest must be very important to her. So yeah, she's much more happy, I guess, when she's doing stuff like this because it's different than what she usually does, right? When she's just on the island there. This events is happening, the Skull Festival, her singing like this, like it must feel so much fun to her. Yeah, I've worked close to my lady, seeing her in all seasons and thought I knew everything about her. But that was all limited to one side of her, the my lady of Rokkenjima. We are furniture. Come on, you gotta stop with this. We serve on Rokkenjima and end our lives on Rokkenjima. So I've come to think of Rokkenjima itself as our whole world, as though like it in a Ptolemaic theory, the ocean spilled off at the end of the world into an abyss. But when I look at my lady like this, I can see how horribly narrow that outlook is. I still can't get along with the excitement with the crowd or of the crowd, but I feel like I can see something that cannot be seen on Rokkenjima. I am not sure if this is the unseeable thing Shannon was talking about, but the ocean still doesn't look blue to me. Are we back? We're back. We're back to normal now. The moonlit night. Okay, so let's end our episode there. Even though it's quite short episode today, but yeah, it deserves its episode of its own, right? That whole scene there with Jessica. So it's very nice seeing a little bit different side, right, to the character. Yeah, Jessica this time. Seeing her in school. I mean, she's pretty much like acting her own self anyways, alright? But yeah, when we see her scenes with other characters, even back in episode 1, yeah, she's kind of like that still. But we see her doing more, is what I'm saying, right? doing a singing there, having fun with her friends, and then yeah, Kanon as well there, having to pretend to be her boyfriend. So all of that, yeah, it's pretty good. I wish we could see that also with other characters. Like for example, Butler, right? I want to see that for Butler, for George. Like before this island, before coming here. I mean, yeah, they've been saying what they've been doing, right? George is working for his father, right? But I want to see a little bit of that as well. Just like with what we saw with Jessica right there, right? It would be a nice what do you call this? More character building for them, right? Not just in the island looking for what is happening or investigating what's happening. Yeah, give us more slice of life moments like that. That's pretty cool. It was fine. Okay, did we get any updates here? Characters. Nothing really. I wish this would update though, right? We don't really get any new updates here. It's pretty much the same thing. It only updates, I guess, when they die. Yeah, that's it. But these are just the normal stuff though. About the other ones, the tips. Do we get any new tips? Epitaph. Okay, still this one. Grimoire. Oh, this one. Okay, Seiza. Seiza is traditional Japanese manner of sitting for the formal occasions where respect is demanded. Okay, I didn't see this. Okay, blue and green. Okay, the color of Ao. Ao is it blue or green? I don't know. In Japanese, there's a range of meanings, including pale, fresh, young, naive, and the color is blue and green in one word. The sea and the sky are Ao. Fresh grass is so Ao. And so is the green on a traffic light. Now, no, isn't green like Midori, right? Yeah, something like that, right? Nowadays, I mean, I watch Kuroko no Basket, right? I mean, their names are sometimes connected to the colors of their hair, like Midoriyama, Midori, right? I guess. Nowadays, Japanese has a native word for Midori, for the color green, but they use the broad word Ao. Also, okay, Ao is still very common, and this is the color Shannon uses to refer to the sea. Canon wonders if she's using Ao to mean something other than blue. How about Chundura? Chundura is the word tundra converted into Japanese sound system. It is used as a pun in reference to the term tsundere. Yeah, tsundere I've seen all the time. A lot of times already. Which is a well-known character personality trait in fictional Japanese characters. Tsundere is composed of two words, chun chun and dere dere, meaning respectively aloof or cranky and lovestruck. It is used to describe characters that demonstrate aggressive and cold behavior but then become all lovey-dovey under circumstances. So yeah, one of my favorite animated shows is called Zero no Chokaima, and the character there is a tsundere, right? Always kind of loud, and then but in reality, yeah, it becomes all lovey-dovey. And also another one, what was the show again? It was a romance show I watched way back then. Dora Dora? I think, yeah, the character there is also tsundere, right? But usually the tsundere characters are always these little girls. Or yeah, not little girls, but little stature, I mean. Right? Most of the time, I guess. But yeah. Honestly, nice episode again. I can't wait to see more of the other stuff like this. But what episode are we now? Or what part of the our Let's Play, like part 5 or part 6, right? And yeah, I guess we're gonna see a little bit more until we get into the story again, right? I mean, the others are not here yet. Butler is not here, Maria, the other characters. And once they come, it's gonna be serious again, right? So let's appreciate the normal moments we're getting right now. And let's see what happens next time, right? So yeah, we are gonna continue this. and do more of Umineko When They Cry episode 2 in the next one. So I'll just see you then, guys. Bye bye.